Hey, Jeff Neal here, reporting live for the thousands or hundreds or two people that watch these videos. But hoping everybody's doing well. I'm doing well. Thanks for asking. Wanted to come through with some thoughts and share some of my experiences and whatnot over the course of the last few days and just in general. I've been reading a lot, studying a lot, and just taking advantage of the time as much as possible. But it does get trying. You know, I won't lie and say that everything's sunshine and rainbows. Definitely is getting a little stir crazy, if you will. But no sweat there, no sweat. We're just making the best of it. Wanted to share some thoughts, some quotes from a recent book that I read, Everyone Always, and see where the conversation takes us, if you don't mind. So I will start with reading a couple, and I'll just see what pops in the old noggin here. So one that I'll probably get into, but who knows? We'll see. Again, I'm going to read three. So this book talked about our thoughts and reactions being like the way a plane lands. You know, a plane lands by touching its its back wheels on the ground first, and that's kind of to set the stage for how that landing is going to go, and if it'll have to be an emergency landing or if they'll have to go back up, so on and so forth. Another quote is the prudent pause versus persistent paralysis. And then it's easier to make plans than it is to make time. So maybe based on time, we'll do all three. But easier to make plans than to make time. Let's start there. And this kind of goes into opportunity cost. I've talked about this in a few other videos and in passing conversation. If you've had conversations with me outside of these videos. But again, it's easier to make plans than it is to make time. We live in a world where everyone is toxically connected to being busy. And in addition to being busy, everybody has a different definition of being busy. I try not to use that word because I feel like it doesn't mean anything anymore. I think we've lost the definition of it. Being self-employed as an example, I can, if I was using that word, I could use that word 24/7. Oh yeah, I'm busy. Oh, I'm busy. How are you? I'm busy. But and then I think parents, the same way can use that word, being busy all the time. And our work-life balance creates the need to feel that we're busy. But my version of busy is not the same as a parent's version of busy, where I do have the ability to turn it off and to shut my devices down and so on and so forth, whereas a parent can't do that. And different job responsibilities, if you're in healthcare or things of that nature, your job and responsibilities and time is a lot different than mine. Being in sales and so on and so forth. But it's important that we understand the ability that we will never find the time, and it's more about making the time. And in making the time, it's really important that you surround yourself with people that are valuable to that invested time. I have found a lot of benefits to making the time for the right people, and understanding that other people won't make that same time for better or worse. I think there's a lot of things that go into it. Some people don't recognize the power in being able to make the time, and some people don't see the value in making the time. And I have found great value in making the time to connect with folks, whether it be in person, pre-COVID, or even just with Zoom calls and just video calls in general. I have pretty much exclusively, based on the desire of the person that I'm talking to, moved from regular phone calls to video calls. That's easier said than done for everybody, because with folks having different mobile devices and technology, it's easier to connect via video with some than it is others. But in instances where I'm able to, I've really incorporated that, because I feel like the personal connection is huge, and we have all this technology to be able to see one another and have more than a voice to voice conversation. It does do, like, you get the body language, you get the different nuances, you can see somebody paying attention. It's just really I enjoy having a video call, and the benefits of being able to see who I'm talking to, and them to see me as well. How many times do we have those conversations where we're talking to somebody and then it just gets silent, and it's like, you there? So it's nice to be able to see somebody engaged, looking and giving their undivided attention, and when possible. So yeah, that's where I stand there. Again, it's easier to make plans than it is to make time. My strong recommendation is to make time. Time is the most important thing on this planet, and we don't get it back. So those people that are around us, you gotta truly invest that time and make those sacrifices to see those people, and to truly be present in those situations. The plane landing gear. So I thought that everybody has seen a plane land, for the most part, whether at the airport, on the television, in a movie, like in a picture, you've seen like a plane landing or land. And in tackling life in that same capacity, you think about the plane lands on its back wheels to ensure that the landing gear is working. From what this book shared, I'm not a pilot, so correct me if I'm wrong if you dare. So the plane lands on its back wheels first to check the functionality of the landing gear on the back, and if the landing gear doesn't work on contact, the plane has the ability to go back up, in that case, and prepare for another emergency landing, or whatever the case may be. But you think about if a plane like landed like straight down, like if the front wheels didn't work, it'd be like detrimental. So think about this in terms of life, in making decisions and living life. You have to fall back on some of the things that are certain to navigate through uncharted territory, so that you have the ability to get back up in the event that this new situation doesn't work out in the way that you've planned for. And I think this is a powerful phrase that stuck out to me in this book, because how often do we go through life handling things for the first time, dealing with emotions for the first time, and almost feeling powerless in some situations, which can create persistent paralysis, as this book talked about. So it's like you face a situation where you don't know exactly what to do and you're almost frozen. So having the mindset of the landing gear on the plane, falling back on what you know so that you can navigate and land safely in these uncharted territories. I think that's super powerful. I don't know if I explained that as well as I could have, but that's why I didn't write the book. I know I'm funny. Last one. What do we have here? Because we're at 10 minutes. I don't remember what that last quote was. But I'll talk about this one. I actually posted a quote from a book that was given to me by one of my good friends. But this quote was also mentioned in this book as well. The other book is The Forgetful Gentleman. This book is Everyone Always. But it says, treat people as who they are becoming versus who they are. And I think that is such a powerful message. I mean, you think about that. I mean, that kind of goes into my last video, Truth and Fiction, about the Batman and the Joker. And we're not going to go back into that. But if you treat people based on their potential, based on their great potential, then you're setting the stage for that person to reach that potential. You're almost adjusting that person's trajectory higher than where it was, almost by just treating that person with that different level of respect. You treat somebody as if you treat somebody as who you see them currently, and you're to a point dimming the light, because as great as we are in this current moment, there is so much more potential to our lives, in the next few minutes, the next few hours, the next few days, years, whatever we're calculating by. And by treating someone based on their potential, whether it be a child truly, but I mean, like, even an adult, it's powerful to treat somebody with that level of respect. I would encourage everyone to kind of keep that in mind out of all this that I've talked about today. That is the one that resonates with me the most in terms of changing our existence collectively and individually. Because even with everything that's going on, life is still tough. Everybody's going through something. Everybody has battles that they're going through. Everybody has emotions, new emotions that they're trying to navigate through. And if we can be a little bit more patient with one another and ourselves, we will navigate favorably through whatever challenges are put in front of us. And by having that person or people consistently in our lives to treat people based on our potential, I have a good deal of hope for us as a human race. But that's all I have today. I hope everybody had a great weekend doing whatever you were doing. I think that I've shared in the past the stigma of online versus offline, and I'll share that in context with COVID-19. Pre-COVID versus post-COVID versus current COVID. We know what's going on, and we know all of the things that are quote unquote limiting us right now. We know all the things that are quote unquote quote unquote, that we're missing. We know all the things that we're missing. But think about all the possibilities you have right now to kind of just like level set on who you are, who you want to be, and how you want to come out of all of this stuff that's going on. It's important that we come out running, so to speak. You know, when the gates finally open to whatever defined normalcy is, will you be prepared? You know, or will you truly not know what to do? You know, so it's kind of like I used to I had a job at the post office when I was in high school, transitioning to college, and I experienced a dog, believe it or not, as a postal worker, and the dog was just ferocious, barking, and you know, just it looked like it just wanted to like eat me alive, you know. But the dog jumped on the fence, and the gate wasn't closed all the way, and the gate just pushed open, and the dog didn't know what to do. Like, it just sat there, and like I just kept walking, you know, eyeing this dog, but the dog was so anxious to get out and to like come after me. Who knows if it was an electric fence, maybe with a real fence, but for whatever reason, the dog didn't move after the gate opened. And so I use that analogy to say, like, will you be ready when things return, if you will? And by utilizing the word return, I don't necessarily mean go back. I mean, when things open up so that we can be comfortable, you know, how will you look back on this situation in terms of truly valuing the time? Because if nothing else, this situation has helped me to understand the value of life and how quickly things can change for you know, better or worse. So until next time, my friends, I hope that you all tune in and provide some commentary if it's important to you. Talk soon.